Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Available everywhere you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at klyphnotes.com. Got a great episode for y'all today. Man, it's been a minute since I've had a chance to really chop it up with this cat. Especially like in a format, in a forum like this. So excited for that. Before we get into it, man, remember that there's a bunch of ways you can keep up with the things that are going on. If you check out DJ Klyph on Bands in Town, it's a spot that you'll be able to see all the places that you might be able to hear me or see me out and about. So check that out for sure. And it's funny, I was and actually I'm gonna get into this next piece with my guest, man. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the king of the neighborhood, Serge Severe. What's good with you, bro?
What up, Klyph?
How you doing, man? Man, it's really good to see you, bro.
I'm doing good, man. I'm just chilling on a Sunday, you know.
That's what's up. Had a chance to catch up with you just recently at the 20th anniversary for Runaway Productions. Anthony Sanchez. It was the second show that he put on since he took ill, and it was dope to see so many familiar faces in the building, bro, and to see you rock, bro. I ain't seen you rock in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I'm glad I got to come up and rock, especially for Anthony and Runway and all the legendary years of shows that I got to do with him. A lot of stories. But yeah, that was a really good night. Portland came out.
No doubt. Sure. Say, bro, do you know? I know you wouldn't know a number, but like a sense of how many shows you think you did with Runaway Productions?
No. I don't know a number. A lot.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's funny because seeing you perform, there was definitely some familiar joints that you did, some joints that were not quite as familiar, but man, your stage presence has definitely stayed on point, man. And you've always been someone who I've appreciated the effort that you put into the craft and how you've represented this art form and at such a high level. You've just continued to do that all of these years, man. So just want to take a minute to say how much I appreciate you and the art that you've created throughout time, man. Thank you for being a dope MC.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. That's love. That's love for sure.
No doubt.
That's what we do. That's what we do. MCing.
Word up. We are connecting. One of the things that I tell people all of the time with the whole pandemic thing that we all went through, one of the things that it did for me is it really gave me the opportunity to create different ways to connect with people, even locally, but now to be able to connect with people even from outside the region. So if people aren't up on it, you relocated a little bit from Portland. You down in LA now.
Yeah, I'm in LA. I moved here almost exactly 3 years ago. So
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, this has been the home base last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's where we at.
What's it been like for you creatively? We're talking about the work that you do as a creative, as an artist. What's it been like for you creatively down there?
It's really cool, man. I think I was thinking about that today, actually, because I've been working a lot on just videos and just different ideas and concepts. And there's just this is the land of, creativity, and everyone is doing something, right? So just to be around that energy, I think is really cool. Just because it feels kind of limitless, just like the amount of things that are going on, events, networking, just people making really dope art, and especially when you think of LA, I mean, it's kind of like the mecca of hip hop on the West Coast, right? So it's like there's so much history here. It's just cool to be in it.
Yeah. When you someone like yourself who honed your craft and really created what the foundation of what you've done here in the Northwest and Portland specifically, what does it feel like, the scene in LA compared to the scene here? And obviously, it's a difference of 3 years, but you're also 3 years older than you were when you
Mm.
were here.
Um, just it's just bigger, It's just there's just more places doing music. We just know the size of Portland, and we know the venues, right? And I'm
Hmm.
always learning like all these new things that are going on, and I feel like it's even more like they get real grassroots with it here. Like those, what I'm saying? They're still like pull up and do like a day dedicated to like graffiti and like ciphers and things like that. It's just the culture, man. The culture is much larger here
Hmm.
for black and brown folks and all they contribute to hip hop, right? Versus Portland. But yeah, that's the main thing. It's just like it's just magnified so much bigger.
Yeah, your perspective being a resident there now. I mean, even when you were in Portland, you would travel. I remember you shared that you'd spend time on the East Coast and in New York, and I know that you traveled to LA. What is your perspective different now being a resident there, and what you see of as West Coast versus the time that you spent on the East Coast when it comes to hip hop?
Yeah. I think I got lucky because when I first did my LA shows,
Hmm.
they were like with really big artists. I was touring with Slum Village and Farside, and so like they're following because of all the reasons and their history and Dilla and all these tours that I was doing. Yeah, the shows were just big. So it's like when I came here, I remember I've done some big shows here, but I remember like I was one like it felt good actually to like kind of like start over in a way.
Hmm.
And I honestly went to events and like no shame do like a open mic 16 you know uh, challenge or whatever and
Hmm.
win
Hmm.
to get on a showcase.
Hmm.
So kind of like took me back to like the beginning of just like show and prove, right?
Yeah.
It's like yeah, maybe got to do all these things, tours and even all the way to Europe and stuff. But like
Mm.
now that I live here, I still got to show and prove.
No doubt.
So
No doubt. So many
it's a
lessons.
good feeling.
Yeah, so many lessons to be learned from that, for artists who feel like they've achieved a certain amount of success maybe in their own neighborhoods. But when you talk about an artist like yourself who did that here in Portland, but then um, you know, are bold enough and to a degree I would say wise enough to know that when you are in a new location, it's to a certain degree it's good to be able to put yourself on the scene that way. Um and go through those things that really sharpen your sword. I think that's dope.
Yeah, man, definitely dope. I've enjoyed it and looking forward to do more. For sure, especially with dropping a new album.
Yeah. So I wanted to get into that, bro, and really spend some time talking about it. So, when you were here, one of the things that you did was you brought some of these pieces with you, some vinyl with you of your latest project, Bella's Son, and I was able to, and it was dope because it wasn't even out yet, and I had a chance to get my hands on it and peep it. Um, this is the latest project that you released, and um, really, in my words, I would say probably the most, I don't know, it comes across as the most personal project that you've released to date. And there's obvious reasons for that I wanted to get into with you. So I guess for starters, bro, kind of give the listeners and the viewers an idea of what this project is.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about these songs because yeah, you're right. This is my most personal project. Dedicated to my mom who passed a couple years ago to pancreatic cancer. She's on the cover. That's when she was younger. She was really into acting. Like
Mm,
she went to an acting school, like a very famous one in New York. She's from New York City, and then also into modeling. So that's like an old picture of her that she would like hide away. Like she just wasn't very. I don't know. She honestly didn't like believe in herself enough in those lanes, although she's obviously pretty stunning. when she's young there. But when it comes down to the album, I think I went through this phase in my life where I was really pushing myself to write more vulnerably, more personal songs, and more just like real songs.
Mhm.
You know, I obviously can always make a bar out track, you
Mhm.
know, something for the heads and hip hop and stuff.
Mhm.
But then when I came back to like, how do I want to challenge myself to improve my storytelling. Um, so I started this project, honestly, the first song I wrote, I think it was like 7 years ago.
Mhm.
So when you're making songs, I'll go into the studio and make a batch of songs. And then over that course of time, maybe make different albums and be like, all right, this goes with this goes with that, this goes with that. So I was saving kind of these like real personal ones.
Mhm.
Um, when I started talking, rapping about, you know, my family, her, how I fit into it, um, just things like that. So, yeah, it was really started me pushing myself to be a better storyteller, better MC, really just like critiquing myself of just like being better at just being more creative, you know.
Mm. And it's funny that you say that because I guess for me it really shows out because I have always appreciated the fact that you are an MC. You know that you, like you said, man. I mean, you'd get whether it's live performances, whether it's when you guest on the radio show, or whatever. Like you would just bar out. And for this, you know, it is definitely something different. One of the things that was interesting when I listened to it, one song in particular, it's like, man, I have heard that song live before, but to hear it
Mm.
on record was dope. And the joint, "What Up Fam," um,
Oh yeah.
you know, I'd heard you do it a bunch of times, but I hadn't really heard it. You know, when you hear it on the record, it's totally different. To really hear the track and then also to hear it in context with this project is, you know, is also pretty dope. Do you remember
Mm.
on this album? Do you remember the first and then the last songs that you wrote?
That's one of the first. Also, the one called "Dear Mom."
Mm-hmm.
So that was like when I was carving this lane of just like a conceptual thing, just
Mm-hmm.
around more introspection about myself and family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is probably, yeah, What Up Fam is definitely in the very, very beginning, if not the first. But yeah, you have a good memory because I would perform that song and it wasn't out. But that's fun to do because it's just like, you only get it if you're at the show. You got to be at the show, or else
Mm-hmm.
you don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
has a good call and response for sure. And I'm trying to think of the last song. I would say I, I got to look at uh,
At the track list.
the track list. But yeah, hang on real quick. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah. If I were to guess real quick, let's see. The last song. It's probably the one. It's probably I can already know.
Mm.
Uh, Get It Back.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something like
That
that.
makes sense.
Because I don't know if you caught it, but I put Ozrock on the end of it.
Yes, I was gonna get into
Um,
that. Yeah.
okay, cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that was obviously a big loss, and it was such a cool quote that I got. He would send me. First of all, he was such a big supporter, you know, and just what I love about Oz is I feel like he never got jaded
Mm-hmm.
by hip hop. He still loved it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just so much. But yeah, he would send voice audios like through IG,
Mm.
bigging me up, checking in, whatever it was. And I love that one just because he was always telling me to press it up on things on vinyl, and I finally did. And I used a quote. He's like, you know, talking about he'll buy two copies.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Mm-hmm.
dope.
It was really dope, man. So
Yeah.
was on the road yesterday and with wifey, and so was listening to the project with her, and it was really cool. Um, it was cool for two reasons. One, to be able to tell her some of these stories, you know,
Mm.
specific when it comes to Get It Back, and um, you know, paused the stream and was trying to help her remember if, you know, because, you know, she's always out when I'm doing events, and so I know that she met Oz, but she didn't know that he'd passed, and, you know, telling her. the last time that I saw him, which is it's one of those things, man, where it's really crazy, right? So the last time I saw Oz, I hadn't seen him in a minute, and he was like, "Yeah, man, really want to get together." And um, I mean, Oz and I never really spent a lot of time together outside of show events. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's one of those things that I know we all have these stories, right? Where you see somebody and it's, yeah, man, we should get together. Yeah, we'll do that, and it never happens. Um, but a reminder of how precious and how short life is. That's why
absolutely.
one of the reasons I think is so dope that you have that you were able to put on the record, because it becomes um, this thing for all of us who knew him to be able to hear his voice again, which I just think is really dope, man. Um, and I know that you and Oz were close. I know he rocked with you, on several of the performances that I saw you um, perform at. Just a real loss to obviously to his family and friends, the loss to this community, this Portland music community, for all that he did and all that he was a part of. So definitely rest in peace, um, to Oz Rock. On this project,
Yeah,
bro, his voice is one of a couple of other voices that we hear. Um, so on the joint Bella A, we hear a voice on that one, man. Who's the voice that we hear there?
yeah, that's my mom. That's my
Yeah.
mom. And it's specifically when she's like, yeah, her time is running out, and I'm sitting on the bed with her, and yeah, my just happened to get a video of it. My lady was recording her talking to me,
Mm.
and I was like, wow, this would be perfect to like put on the outro. But yeah, I'm really into like intricate details and sequencing of albums and projects. I just that's what really makes albums to me.
Yeah. That was another one that listened to it. Wifey actually had to rewind it because she wanted to make sure she was listening to what your mom was saying, trying to make it out. And um, it was really cool. It was really cool for me to see her connect with that. One of her favorite songs is just a couple joints that she liked on here. She really liked "Dear Mom," um, which I think is dope. It's funny, the first time I listened to Bella's Son, listening to it without actually looking at the jacket, and it's like, dang, that sounds like Tony on the hook. uh, being able,
Definitely Tony.
yeah, yeah, being able to connect with folk here in the Portland area is dope. What were all these songs recorded before you left Portland?
No, they weren't. They weren't. Uh, a lot of them were though.
Mm,
Yeah, I think I have recorded a couple just visiting back, but yeah, you know, a lot of them maybe were recorded and then I just finalized them, sent in
mm,
to mix and master.
mm.
But yeah,
That's what's up, bro. There's another voice on Memories on the project. Who was that?
that's actually my dad. So yeah, I loved using that because if you listen to that song, it's kind of talking about my separation from him
Mhm,
and also dealing with like yeah, racial biography
mhm,
in a sense.
mhm,
Just moving away from him in a culturally very rich and diverse Bay Area. That's
mhm,
where I was born
mhm,
in San Francisco, moved all around the Bay, and then moving up to Oregon with my mom to a very white place.
mhm.
Pretty much, yeah, I tried to capture that essence. But yeah, that's my pops. He so he's a musician, and I really like using that voicemail just because my first memories as a little boy, honestly, is like driving around the Bay, and this is when people was using payphones, and he had like this little black book of all his musicians with their phone numbers, to book gigs, to book the piano, bassist, whatever.
Mhm,
And we would stop, get out of the car. He'd have his coins with him.
mm,
You just put them in the payphone, and he called musicians and book gigs or whatever.
mm.
But yeah,
That's what's up, bro. To have,
yeah,
again, to have these. these sort of capsules of time that you've kept over the years, and to be able to share them this way in a project like this, I think it's really dope, man. And then
Appreciate it.
we listening to is it? I think it's Put In Work on the intro to Put In
Mhm.
Work, and wifey's like, "Is that OG?"
Oh, that's it is OG, and it's when I won the an award, the hip
Mm,
hop award, Portland Hip Hop Award.
hmm.
But the song is called
Or is it Find My
uh,
Way?
"Find My Way."
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
"Find My Way."
Um,
But what's funny, you just said that. Someone asked me if that was Klyph, and I was like, "No, that's OG."
yeah, man. So you have this project out now. What has been the response? Because I mean, you heard my response in terms of really what when I think of Serge Severe and a Serge Severe project. What has been the response thus far from folk? Now that it is out, it is available. People can cop the vinyl.
Mhm.
That's available. I want to get into a little bit more about that. But it's streaming as well. What has been the responses you've gotten from folk?
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of love.
Hmm. Hmm.
I just got actually one of the joints is played out in Paris, France. These guys hit me up like a boom bap show
Mm.
that they like have their select cuts and have me do a voice drop for them and all this stuff. So I just reposted that. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's making its rounds. I think as an artist and creative, it can be the thing about that is like, if I'm being honest, it's like you obviously want good feedback and a response,
Hmm.
and sometimes it takes some time. Like sometimes maybe someone will buy it and not even digest it or listen to it, right? Just to support.
Hmm.
So but overall, yeah, the people that I rock closely with is like showing mad love.
Yeah. Has there been that um has there been any of that feedback about the project and how it may be different from stuff that they've heard from you? Cuz I mean
Yeah, they've said, uh this this one hit different, like um and I know what they mean when they say that, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh yeah.
You know, on that I've had this ongoing conversation with Destro Destructo Boom Bap Project about how we now receive art, how we now receive music. And we are hit with so much music now. And as a curator, one of the things that becomes a challenge for me is several days out of the week I'm getting music, whether it's from artists specifically or from labels or whomever. And there's so much music that I work to be a conduit for, through the radio shows and this, that, and the third. That oftentimes music doesn't get that life that it would, at least on radio. And then when it comes to streaming, you have that same thing because on all the streaming services, every week, these are the new projects, right? These are the new singles, these are the new albums, this, that, and the third. As a creative, and this is a conversation I'm having with folk, how do you manage that, right? Because like you said, a lot of times people will pick up a project and maybe listen to it once, but then they move on to the next because there's just so much coming at them.
Yeah, that's definitely something to manage. It can be disappointing, right? But I just try to remind myself why I do this and who I am. And, I feel like I'm building a discography versus just like fast food items being shoved out. But
Hmm.
I was just having this conversation with my video guy down here around just like all of a sudden we're supposed to be these content creators, right? On top of everything else and pumping out all this stuff. And that's just overwhelming. I'll always do it when I feel like doing it
Hmm.
and I feel, energized by it. But like, I don't really feel like forced to try to keep up because it's like you're up against like a corporate business, right? It's like you're never going to compare it to someone with like, you know, millions of marketing dollars.
Hmm.
So it's like you can't compare yourself.
Hmm.
I think you just got to do it for you. Do it because there's a reason behind it. But that's how I manage it.
Yeah. The I had another conversation with someone here. Actually, and this is another ongoing conversation about the response. Not responsibility is not the right word, but I can't think of another word, a better word for artists, especially or specifically independent artists, where you have to be the creative, you have to be the visionary, you have to be the label, the A&R, you have to book your shows, you have to do all of these things when you're an independent artist. And that there are ways that independent artists can can gain support so that they can do the art and have others help them with some of those, some of those other tasks. Is that something that you think about? Is that something that you look for, or do you just focus on, doing what you can?
Yeah, I think it's taken a while to find, especially like relocating and stuff. But
Mhm,
like, there's this certain like things I'm not good at, right? That I didn't put a lot of time into.
mhm,
So I know what I'm good at.
mhm.
So yeah, if I need to have a video guy, then that's what they're there for, right?
Yeah.
But the rest of the stuff, yeah, I am really just doing it on my own. Just the best that I can.
Mhm,
Like I put all my money into my merch, the vinyls, buy the cardboard boxes, fold them up myself,
mhm, mhm,
package them together, drive to the mail, uh, and pay for the shipping. And so it's just like, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you have to do. No one's going to do anything for you. I mean, it's just uh, unless you got a bunch of money and a big team, right? So um, I'm okay with the DIY. That's how we started. So
yeah.
uh, I just keep it pushing.
Well, and then because of that, because you have had the experience of doing it yourself, does that make this project any easier? You know what I mean? Because you know what it takes to do all of this because you've done it for so many years, or is it just different?
With this one is it is different because it's the first time that I actually invested in like records, like
Mhm,
vinyl.
mhm,
So I definitely have like a different energy around this project,
mhm,
especially because uh, it's deeper to me. It means more. It's
mhm,
dedicated to my mom.
mhm.
So yeah, I feel like that's the big difference in this project is it all goes in together where um, I'm proud of it, right? Not that I'm not proud of the other music.
Mhm.
This one is something special.
Yeah. Yeah. When you decided that you were gonna do this project as a project, did you know from jump that you wanted to do vinyl?
Yeah, I've always wanted to, but then I was just like, this is the one. This felt like, especially after she passed, and I'm like, how can I really honor her? And I feel like this is a cool way, just because like that lives forever. It's not just a stream, something you can like look at, hold. You'll have it, forever. Whoever has it will have it,
Right.
and someday, who knows, dystopian future, it's like someone finds it, but it's like an actual tangible thing,
Mhm.
versus just something, in our phone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You you this project is out obviously having an opportunity to, as you talked about, speak with people even let alone outside the region, outside of the country, about this music that you're making right now. Um, do you feel like you'll spend time on this project really giving it life? And you tell me, bro, like I feel like one of the pressures of creatives is I got to put out the next. Whereas in the past, it used to be I put something out and it has a chance to live. Is that something that you think about at all?
yeah, I mean that's the frustrating piece. Is like it's like you're battling yourself and battling like what you see other people doing, where it's like they're just dropping all this stuff, and it's just I'm not trying to keep up like that because I want to make this album last. So I'm gonna be doing videos to it, promoting it,
Mhm,
just keeping the story going because it's like you know this is definitely not my last project.
mhm,
I have other ones that I'm working on, but like I need to give this my energy and
mhm.
give it life. So I definitely plan on continuing to push it.
Word. Do you know which songs? Have you thought about which songs you're gonna do visuals for?
I have one done to Again. So Again is the first song that I did when I moved here.
Mhm,
Um, and that was really cool. It was like a friend of a friend grew up with Willie B
Mm,
down here,
mm,
so I got connected to him. For those that don't know, Willie B produced a lot of early TDE music. He did a couple on Section 80. I know he did Rigor Mortis. He has a long list of production,
mhm.
but that song has got a really good response, especially live. It's got a dope sample. People recognize, I'm sure. But yeah, so I shot a video to that one already. So that should be. I'm gonna drop that pretty soon.
Mhm,
And then I would like to do one to memories.
mhm.
I'd like to go actually to the Bay in San Francisco and do that.
Yeah,
Maybe get my dad in it. But yeah, those are the ones for sure. I'd like to do one to put in work, just like the hard boom bap stuff.
yeah.
You know.
That's what's up, bro. One, I intended to do this before we connected. But I can just ask you, when is, because you sent me a couple of these singles, right?
Mm.
Before, actually a bit ago that I've been able to play. But what was the last project that you released? Do you remember?
Yeah, When Crows Fly. So I put that out in March, I believe, right before I moved.
Mm,
Um, and I did a listening party at Alberta Street. You were there.
hmm hmm
But yeah, that was the last album that I put out.
It's interesting because I don't remember if it. I feel like it's almost something that you reference on the album. Something came across to me that um, you were sharing with the listener that, like, you're not gone. You're still here. You're still making music. You're still creating art. And so that sort of stuck out to me. Um, that as we were just talking about, sometimes people don't, if they don't see you, it's almost out of sight, out of mind, which is a shame when it comes to someone who's created as much as you have. Um, was I missing that? Was there a piece of that on this project of, like, letting people know, no, I'm here?
Yeah, I feel like I tend to weave that in my lyrics in general. But yeah, the last album was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Time be flying, right?
yeah.
But like, I'm about quality over quantity.
hmm
So I definitely released a few singles throughout the years, and
hmm
some of them made the album, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, can we talk a little bit about some of the other things that have been a part of your transition from the Northwest to LA? Uh, just in terms of life in general, bro. Like, what's it been like to, you've already spoken about the opportunity to be around, culturally a little bit more diversity, and what's it been like? What's the transition been like for you?
Yeah, it's been really cool, man. I
Mm,
really like it. Just yeah, I love all the options.
mhm.
I love being able to walk down the street and no one's really like batting an eye because they've seen a big brown man with tats before, versus like walking my dog in Portland.
Mhm,
I don't know. It's just a completely different world.
mm,
Completely different world. A lot of culture. Just a lot of opportunities. A lot of yeah, entertainment wise,
mhm,
it's
mhm,
just really cool, man.
mm,
I remember when I was up there for the show the next day, I was looking for something to do or some event, and
mhm.
it was like there wasn't a lot going on, and that's just the way it be. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, I've enjoyed the transition for sure.
yeah. So as people are listening to this, or even people who are watching it, we can't ignore that there's another guest on the in this interview right now, bro. Like, what's up with the dog, yo?
Yeah, that's my dog Leo. He's reacting to every sound. He's a 7-year-old mixed pit bull. But yeah, he's got quite the personality,
Mm.
But
How's the transition been for him?
he hated the rain. So I guess he's from Fresno. So we adopted him when he was like 8 weeks old,
Uh huh.
from Humane Society on Columbia
Uh huh.
and Boulevard. And so, yeah, he hated the rain. So when he likes it, I think only thing I don't like is my hood neighborhood. It can get kind of grimy and dirty,
hmm
and I don't like that I have to walk him.
Mm.
through like they're just glass and just people don't pick up, their dogs poop.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, uh, he's a little on edge. There's a lot of action going on. Uh, when I was in Portland, I was by the St. John's Bridge and Cathedral, and it's definitely a lot quieter,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's what's up, bro. Um, the uh being there now and sort of getting, well, I mean, you've been there for 3 years, so being established, what's it like for you hitting stages down there?
it's dope, man. I I don't want to say people understand hip hop more here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but there's just more people
Mm-hmm.
to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's the best way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just engraved in LA hip hop music, right?
Yeah.
It's just they get it.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I've been in rooms in Portland where it's like, do they understand what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
So um, I think that's the main thing. It's just like, yeah, there's just more people, more heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely dope. I did an insane show with Ghostface down here,
Yes. Yes.
who was amazing, man. It was just I was the only one that opened. It's like 1,000 people, just like east of LA, east of downtown LA, like warehouse, and it's called. I don't remember what the night is called, but it's kind of like a quarterly event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, that was just that was massive. It was
Yeah.
such a good show.
Yeah.
And I've done some smaller ones too. You know what I'm saying? Just you're gonna get the same show.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to fill the room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you, do you feel like that's something you that you love, hitting stages versus being in studio?
Yeah, I love it. And it's just I love I actually like performing more than um, the studio.
Mm, mm.
Way more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess that would be the case. I guess that's why I asked the question that way. Just knowing you and seeing that part of your career when you were here, and even when you come on a radio show, man, and you were always so gracious with sharing your talents with the listeners there. Like performing seems to be almost like making the records is something that you have to do so that you can then go and perform those records that you make.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, like that feeling of preparation, I really like, and just like having like bars ready to go, or
Hmm.
just feeling really confident,
Hmm. Hmm.
in what you're about to go do.
Hmm.
That's it. That's just a great feeling.
Yeah. What's been the if anything, what's been the thing that you miss about being in the Northwest?
The prices. I know that Portland has got expensive, but this isn't a very expensive place. I
Hmm.
think I've noticed it when I've gone back to Portland to visit.
Hmm.
Um, there's no sales tax, so forget about that when
Hmm.
you're out and about here.
Hmm.
Things add up quick. Um, and if you do want some quiet, it's definitely feels a lot more slower motion and
Hmm.
quiet up there.
Yeah.
If that's what you want.
Yeah. And what's the thing about LA that you've experienced that you didn't expect?
People are actually pretty open and friendly.
Hmm.
I think LA gets this broad stroke. It's just like, oh, it's just like, it's just Hollywood bullshit or
Hmm.
whatever. It's just money, or like people are trying to like scam and all this stuff. But yeah, everyone that I've met, like through music and stuff, has been super genuine,
Hmm.
chill, willing to like chop it up, willing to work. Just I think that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Not it, which is weird because if you think about Portland, it's really small. So why would someone kind of like not be open to like working with folks? But I feel like it's more like that up there, a little more crabs in a barrel, I guess, in Portland.
Yeah. It's another conversation that I've had with folk through the years, not being a Portland native. I tell this people who've listened to me for any length of time, hear me talk about when I first came to Portland. It was definitely one of the things that I noticed that there was a separation um, that was just interesting to me, and I tried to think, well, maybe it's geography, right? Cats from certain areas of the city, so they, especially coming up, people going to different schools, and so not connecting this, that, and the third. But I remember it really stood out to me when the fix was happening in Portland, and I think when I got on the air and I started meeting a lot of artists, um, and I'm sure I've said this to you before, it was one of the things that when I would book people and I'd book an artist in the 8 o'clock hour and then book an artist in the 9 o'clock hour, hoping that when that 8 o'clock artist was leaving and the 9 o'clock artist was coming, that would be an opportunity for cats to maybe connect and have a conversation, and maybe something dope would come from that. Um, that that I have always found so interesting that there isn't, and maybe it's just because I'm a fan of Crew Records, right? Like I'm a fan of Native Tongue and how you have all these individual artists who come together to create this great art, and there's so much talent here. But I think I've also been here long enough to know, sometimes an area of the country or an area of the world that just, that's just not the way that it is. I say all that to ask a question. You've done the majority of your work as a solo artist. Um, I know that you've done features, and you've had some. I know you've done some features, but is that something that you desire now, especially with what you just described, the opportunity for people maybe to be a little bit more open to collaboration?
Yeah, man, I would love to collab. I got some in the works for sure.
Hmm.
The thing about it is just like I don't like waiting on anyone. You know what I mean? And so like yeah, the thoughts and idea of collabing is dope.
Hmm.
And then but if someone's just lagging way far behind or not like making it important, you
Hmm.
know, to get done, then it kind of loses momentum, right?
Hmm.
So, but I'm
Hmm.
always down to collab if I'm rocking with what people are doing, you
Yeah,
know? Absolutely.
yeah. We talking about this project, Bella's Son. It's available on vinyl. It was so dope to be able to get it from you, and thank you so much for tagging it. So I have a crate here with all the albums that I have that the artists have tagged for me. So this is definitely going in that crate. But if people want to get their hands on the vinyl, for all the reasons that you talked about, the fact that it is this physical copy that is theirs that they will have forever. So if the internet goes down, they still have it. How do people get their hands on the vinyl?
Yeah, it's all on my Bandcamp. If you don't feel comfortable with that, just DM me. You know, we can
Hmm.
work out a payment.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's 180 grams, crystal clear, 12-inch record. But yeah, primarily just order through Bandcamp and that'll set everything up for you.
Word. So obviously, people who who listen to my radio show, people who listen to the things that I do, know of you just because, and again, so gracious for all of the moments that you shared with me being on air or rocking shows or whatever. So all of those people know you. What do you want them to know about where you are, about what you're doing, things that they should just have on their radar?
Yeah, really that you know, a lot of love for the Northwest in Portland still. This is where I live, this is where I work in Southern California and you know, I'm an MC that loves hip hop still to this day and this album is going to um, definitely be for people that are into um, creative storytelling, really dope hip hop production, jazzy, you know, production, smooth production. Um, yeah, I got other things in the works too. Been collaborating with some really dope producers that people know about that are from Portland as well. So those will be the next projects. But for now, we pushing Bella's Son. Um, be on the lookout for a video to the joint called Again, dropping soon, and also be on the lookout for some freestyles over classic beats that we filmed. A lot of that's going to be dropping on Instagram, you know, Facebook, TikTok, all that.
That's what's up, bro. And then for people who are there where you are, um, in down in the LA area, any opportunities for people to see you doing your thing live that you want to put out there?
Yeah, I don't have anything booked right now, but I'm definitely going to be performing live soon. Just still trying to work out some time and dates, but nothing that's official. But
Mm,
yeah, I'll be active for sure.
that's what's up, bro. Hey man, before I let you go, this is it's something I've been sort of pondering, and it's a little bit different for what I do as a really more of a curator than a creator as I see you. But I think about, you know, Bella Sun is dropped right now, and really want to encourage everybody to go and cop the vinyl, or at the very least go and stream it for all the reasons that we talked about. But do you ever do you think about all of the art that you've made in the past? Is it is it important to you, or is it of interest to you for people to go check out the older work?
Yeah, definitely. Uh, there's some there's some nice albums in there for sure. Going back, but yeah, I mean, Bella Sun is where I'm at right now, and like I think if you go back and listen, you'll hear the growth.
Mhm,
Maybe you'll like some of the other albums more. It
mhm,
just depends on what you're into. I
mhm.
tried to be creative, make different tracks, different songs, works with different producers. But yeah, I think there's a lot actually that has been overlooked. So go check all that out.
Word up, word up. Because I think about that. You know, even this man, people are gonna have an opportunity to tap in. I think about how I even listen to podcasts, or how I even listen to music. If I'm introduced to a new artist, oftentimes I'm wherever I tap in, I move there and then I go forward. But there's always such good content that was released prior to, and um, I was just wondering if other people are on that same wavelength. Like, yeah, this is dope, but be sure, don't forget there's some other stuff back there um, that that is that is valuable, that is dope, and want to make sure that people know that your catalog is vast. So for sure, check out Bella's Son right now, but don't forget Serge got projects for real.
I got them out there.
No doubt. Hey, yo, Serge, bro, if people wanna keep up with you, man, if they wanna tap in, if they wanna just, make sure that they don't miss anything, what's the easiest and most direct way for people to do that?
Yeah, it's just Serge Severe everywhere. Instagram is Serge_Severe. So SERGE_Severe. That's probably where, everyone gets all their updates right anyway. But yeah, that's where we'll be pumping out content for sure.
That's what's up, bro. Any last words you want to leave for folk? Make sure that people are paying attention to and up on.
Not really, man. Just shout out to you, Klyph. I appreciate the love, appreciate the opportunity to talk about this record. It means a lot. And yeah, shoot, man. I remember visiting you in Mount Hood Community College all the way back.
Yeah,
So
bro.
do you just do this out of your house now? But you don't go to a radio station anymore?
Yeah, man. So once again, when the pandemic jumped off, those of us who could, they set us up so that we could stream because we couldn't go to the studio, right? We literally weren't allowed to go to the studio. So I was able to get things set up here to just stream, so I could keep doing Welcome to the Neighborhood from the house. And once the studio opened up again and started going back in, and wife was like, "I kind of like you being at home because I get off the air at 10 o'clock, shut everything down 10:15. I'm on the couch with wife. You know what I mean? So I'll
Mhm.
definitely still go into the studio. Um, if an artist is coming into town, or if there's an artist in town who's going to come in and do some live verses on air, we'll definitely still go in. But being able to do the show from home, it also allows me to do the live video stream. So I feel like that's a real blessing for artists, because now we're not only sending the audio signal to X-Ray, but also then sending the video to YouTube and to Twitch and, to a bunch of different streaming services. But there again, also, I had an opportunity to, um, doing interviews did it just an interview with Pat Johnson, a comedian from LA, and was able to, to do the video joint. My interview with Brother Ali from Istanbul, you know what I mean? So being able to do the radio show from here, it just creates more opportunities. But nah, the station is, it's still available to me whenever I need it.
That's what's up, man. Glad
Yeah,
you found a different way. Keep it going.
absolutely, absolutely. So the next time you come to Portland, bro, we will be going to the station because if you're coming through, I gotta get you to spit live on there.
All right, all right. Come with some bars.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Serge Severe, man. Once again, bro, I appreciate all the art that you've created through the years. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And you're right, man. Welcome to the Neighborhood started years ago when we were first starting broadcasting out of Mount Hood. You were definitely there through that station, through the station that we went to out in Gresham, to the station in Portland. You've rocked with me for many a year, man, and I definitely appreciate you, Doc.
It's all love, man. Appreciate you too.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Serge Severe, go check out the new project, Bella's Son. It is available everywhere. Go stream it. But for sure, go to his Bandcamp so you can cop the vinyl because the album is dope and it definitely deserves to be a part of your collection, man. Once again, welcome to the Klyph Notes podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at klyphnotes.com. So like, share, rate, review, help me grow this situation. Thank you to Serge Severe. And last but never ever least, thank you to Theory Has It for creating the official theme song for the Klyph Notes podcast. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Peace.